My neighborhood, you had to be a fighter just to get along. That's the truth. So walk in the streets, you had to have 5 fights by the time you reach the next corner. Some guy got fresh with me only last night. I gave him 1 shot, paralyzed. My whole side. I still remember my first fight. I came into the ring. It was fantastic. I used to fight in the ring. It was fantastic. I threw a left, a right, another left, another right. Then my opponent came into the ring. Oh, this was a different type of fighter. I worked out a strategy. See, a great fighter is not necessarily strong. Strategy is the most important thing. Like the first round, I decided to lay low. Then he gave me a shot in the mouth. Now I was laying a little lower than I expected. But one thing about me, I kept my head. I lost my teeth. But my head I kept. I worked out a strategy. The first round, I decided to dazzle him with my footwork. Meanwhile, he was blinding me with his punching. I figured this isn't working either, so I decided to circle him. Then he circled me. Then I circled him. Then he got mad because I was making bigger circles than him. I'm not much of a fighter, but I travel in the bigger circles. All of a sudden, he gave me a shot right in the mouth. I said to myself, what's this? In the middle of a circle. This was my best circle. Then I threw a right hand and I punched myself right in the mouth. I said to myself, what's this? 2 against 1? Now I really got mad and I found an opening. It was in my head. Then I decided to move in on this guy. I came back with a vengeance, but he came back with punches. So I got mad and I started to throw my famous 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 2, 3, and 4, I got. You can't get them all. Now I came out like a caveman. He gave me 1 shot. I caved in. Now, one thing about me, I might go down in a fight, but I got news for you. Once I go down, I stay there. I don't get up. I figured I'm here. What's my hurry? Where am I going? I'm not busy. I'll stay here a while. But if I get up, it'll only hit me again. I'm down again. But I have to make 3 trips to the same place. As long as I'm laying here, I'll hang around. I noticed another thing. While I was laying there, it wasn't hitting me. I figured I should have come in laying down. I wouldn't have had this problem open. All of a sudden, the referee comes over and starts pushing him away. I said, what are you pushing him now? Where were you when I needed you? Then he started counting. I said, what are you counting? Call a doctor. I'll count. Do you notice that many comedians, or performers in general, are basically very self-conscious? You ever meet these people? They look great on the stage. You walk over to them after the show. Can't talk. It's the truth. They're very uncomfortable people. I myself was once so self-conscious to such an extent that I couldn't talk to people at all. It's hard to believe. Do you know that I was once so self-conscious that if I even went to a football game and I saw the players get into a huddle, I used to think that they were talking about me. That's a true story. As a matter of fact, I went to a psychiatrist and I said to him, what is it? He said, it's $25 a visit. I said, so $25, I don't visit. I move in. Then he took out an ink blot and he said to me, what do you see from this ink blot? I said, I see that you need a new fountain pen. I figured for $25, I'll drive him crazy. Then he said to me, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. I said, I want $24 change. Then he said, I see your trouble. You hate your sister. I said, I haven't got a sister. He said, I can't help you if you won't cooperate. He said, I'll ask you another question. Why do you hate your father so much? I said, it so happens that I have the highest respect for my father. He said, then why do you hate your mother? I said, I love my mother. He said, then tell me when you first started to hate your brother. I said, I like him too. He said, then maybe you got a cousin you hate? I said, no, I love everybody. He said, you see, that's your trouble. Too much love. You got to hate somebody. I said, right now I'm not so crazy about you. He said, from all your cousins, you can't pick out one lousy cousin that you hate? Am I asking much? He said, usually I ask 3, 4 cousins. I'm asking you one lousy cousin. He said, you can't help out? I said, I can't help you. I happen to have wonderful cousins. I said, maybe you got a cousin that you hate. He said, as a matter of fact, I do. I said, then that's your problem. He said, yeah, what can I do about that? I said, lay down on the couch. Maybe I can help you out. He said, what is it? I said, it's $25 a visit. Then he wanted to find out if I was normal with reference to the opposite sex. So he said to me a very subtle question. He said to me, when you meet a girl, what's the first thing that you look for? I said, a room. He said, that's not normal. I'm talking about love. I want to know if you had a true love relationship with any one girl. I said, positively I did. He said, do you remember her name? I said, no. He said, do you remember her address, maybe? I said, I don't remember that either. He said, you're not helping me. I said, you never got me any girls either. Would you believe it if I tell you that from these preposterous sounding questions, he found out everything that disturbed me from the day I was born? Now, what do you think happened? Because my mother hated me and my father hated me and people in general couldn't stand me, I began to think that I wasn't popular. So my psychiatrist told me that instead I had to find something else to fall in love with. And he told me that unconsciously, I was unaware of the fact that I fell in love with my galoshes. Now, that sounds ridiculous. I love my galoshes. I thought the same thing. Even if a psychiatrist told it to me. But I believe a stupid thing like that. I love my galoshes. That's stupid. All right, I like my galoshes. I got beautiful galoshes, I'll tell you the truth. Still, I don't love them. I'll admit I hug them once in a while. But I wouldn't kiss them. Because that's not normal. How can I love my galoshes? I love my umbrella. My galoshes are nothing in comparison to my umbrella. You saw my umbrella, you wouldn't bother with your galoshes either. You want me to be honest with you? I never even wanted to take out my galoshes. I was just ashamed. How does it look? I always take my umbrella and I don't bother with my galoshes. So once in a while I took out my galoshes. I never liked them. Because the galoshes looks like nothing. An umbrella, you come into a place, it looks like something. How do you do? That's my umbrella. Now what I'm talking about comes in different colors. You look like a celebrity. You don't know what's going on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. I hope you appreciate the fact I took a day off from my regular business just to help you out. I hope you realize this is not my regular business. That's sideline with me. I happen to be an astronaut on my day off. You didn't know I was an astronaut. You know why? Because I never make an issue out of it. I'm not like Shepard looks for publicity. Wherever you go, you see pictures. Shepard flying. Not me. You never saw one picture of me flying any place. You know why? I never went. I was about to go, but I didn't need it. First of all, I turned them down for a very good reason. They told me that I have to start out 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm willing to endanger my life for my country, but that don't mean I have to kill a whole night's sleep. I don't come home till 5. How am I going to get up at 6? When am I going to sleep? I told them 11:30. I'll help you out. Usually I sleep till 1, but for my country, I give up an hour and a half. But a whole night, I can't give up. They never lost any sleep over me either. Besides, where am I going at 6? What's the hurry? I'm the only one there. Is anybody going to notice if I come 9 o'clock? I'm the first one. I'll come when I want. You know what I'm talking about? You don't look it, I'll be honest with you. What is the hurry? Ridiculous. The greatest people that ever lived in this country were all people who slept good. Do you know that? To this day, wherever you go, you see a sign. George Washington slept here, George Washington slept. Why do you think he slept in so many places? Because they kept waking him up 6 o'clock in the morning. Paul Revere got up 6 o'clock in the morning to holler the British are coming. But as soon as he woke everybody up, he went back to sleep. He knew it's important. Besides, why should I sacrifice myself that much? This country don't treat me that good. You know what they pay an astronaut in this country today? I'm ashamed to tell you. It's $1.25 an hour. The whole flight takes 15 minutes. So what am I left with? 32 cents. For this, I'm going to get up 6 o'clock in the morning. And where's the tips? Tips is a fortune. The guy that opens the door to the rocket, he's got to get something. What if he's an admiral? I can't give him a dime. And how am I going to get to Cape Canaveral? I live in New York. How am I going to get there? I can't take a plane. I would like to, but I'm afraid to fly. So I'll have to take a taxi, even if I make all the lights. You know what it's going to cost me? There's a fortune in this. I can't take a bus. How would it look, an astronaut going by bus to a rocket? The whole thing don't make sense. And the main thing is that this job is not steady. Shepard did a great job. Second time, they got somebody else. Now, if I go to an unemployment office, I'm looking for jobs. They'll say, what do you do for a living? I'll say, I'm an astronaut. They'll say, how come you're not working? I'll say, it's not my season. They'll say, how long did you work? I'll say, 15 minutes. Does this sound like a recommendation for a job? You notice they only ask married men. They never ask a single guy to be an astronaut. They ain't got the nerve to ask him. They know a single guy wouldn't go. He's got something to live for. Married men will go any place. He knows it can't get worse. My mother was against it. When my mother found out that they wanted me as an astronaut, she said, why'd they pick you? What, you got such a great sense of direction? This job is not for you. She said, this job was any good, would Kennedy offer it to you in the first place? He'd give it to his brother.